The Korthian Empire's greatest warriors stood in formation on the neutral station, their ceremonial armor gleaming under harsh lights. 20 of them, champions, each standing over 7 feet tall, muscles like coiled steel, weapons that had ended 1,000 lives. This was the challenge, ancient tradition dating back millennia. When disputes couldn't be resolved through diplomacy, the Korthians offered single combat. 20 of their finest against 20 of yours. Winner takes all. The human delegation had accepted. Ambassador Willis stepped forward, looking nervous. The Korthian war chief, Grizak, smiled, showing rows of pointed teeth. This would be a massacre. Humans were soft, weak. This dispute over mining rights would be over in minutes. Send out your champions, Grizak demanded. Willis cleared his throat. We're sending one. The Korthian warriors laughed, a sound like grinding rocks. One? You mock us with this. The airlock door hissed open. She walked out covered in grease stains, wearing coveralls that had seen better days. Her name tag read Murphy. She was maybe 5'6", with arms that showed the lean muscle of someone who worked with their hands. Her hair was pulled back in a messy ponytail. In her right hand, she carried a 3-foot industrial wrench. She looked tired and very, very annoyed. Are you kidding me? Murphy shouted back at Willis. I was in the middle of fixing the engine core. This better be quick. Grizak stared. This is your champion? A mechanic? Murphy turned her glare on him. Yeah, got a problem with that? Because I got a hydraulic leak in Bay 7, and if I don't fix it in the next hour, we're all going to be breathing vacuum. So let's get this over with. The Korthian warriors looked at each other, confused. This had to be a trick. The rules are simple, the neutral arbiter announced. 20 Korthian warriors versus the human champion. Combat continues until surrender or incapacitation. Begin. The first Korthian charged, blade raised. Murphy sidestepped like she'd done 1,000 times, probably dodging hydraulic arms in tight engine spaces. The wrench came up fast, catching the warrior under the chin with a sound like a bell being struck. He dropped. The second and third came together. Murphy ducked a slash, slammed her wrench into one's knee. Something crunched, then brought it back up into the other's weapon hand. Bones broke. The warrior screamed. I don't have time for this. Murphy yelled, blocking another strike and countering with brutal efficiency. The thing about mechanics, real mechanics who worked on fusion drives and antimatter containment fields, was that they understood force, leverage, and physics in ways warriors never would. They worked with machines that could tear them apart if they made one wrong move. They learned to be precise, efficient, and absolutely fearless. Murphy moved through the Korthian champions like she was fixing a particularly stubborn engine problem. Each strike of her wrench was calculated, joints, pressure points, places where their armor didn't quite connect. She wasn't elegant. She was effective. A warrior grabbed her from behind. She dropped her weight, twisted, drove an elbow into his throat, then brought the wrench down on his instep. He released her with a howl. You know what your problem is? Murphy said, breathing hard, standing over 6 downed warriors while the others circled warily. You think fighting is about honor and tradition and all that crap. She pointed the wrench at them. Fighting is about going home at the end of the day. It's about fixing the problem and moving on. You're a problem. A really annoying problem that's keeping me from my job. 3 charged at once. Murphy grabbed a fallen blade, used it to parry while her wrench found rib cages, skulls, anywhere that would drop them fast. Not pretty, not honorable, just efficient. 10 minutes later, all 20 Korthian champions lay groaning on the deck. Murphy tossed the wrench over her shoulder, catching it without looking. She walked up to Grizak, who stood frozen in shock. The mining rights are ours. We good, because I really need to get back to that engine. Grizak could only nod. Murphy turned to Willis. Next time you need someone to fight aliens, maybe don't pull me out of engineering during a critical repair. Find someone who actually likes fighting. She walked back through the airlock, already pulling out her datapad to check engine diagnostics. The Korthian warriors slowly picked themselves up, reevaluating everything they thought they knew about humans. Ambassador Willis smiled at Grizak. She was actually in a good mood today. You got lucky. The war chief believed him. Later, when asked about the incident, Murphy's only comment was, They got between me and my work. Bad idea. Really bad idea. The Korthian Empire never challenged humanity again.